Okay, we're on. I'm going to introduce myself first, and my name is Kay Hirai. I'm the owner of a hair salon called Studio 904 um, in Washington, and I'm also an author of three books. The books I published are Yumi's Life Lesson, Keiko's Journey, and my brand new book is called Sheer Determination. And today I've invited Justin Bourne to come and talk with me because he is featured in my book. And he's one of the people that I always think of when he was working for me. He now lives in New York and doing some other great things. And I'm going to have him share that with you a little bit later. But I just want to let you know a little bit about Justin, that he when he came to work at Studio 904, he entered in our apprenticeship program. And that was a program that the salon had that helped people without any cosmetology background to come and work in a salon and learn in a salon. And we had accreditation with the state of Washington to be able to have them take the testing, and then that person then could become a full-fledged hairstylist and a really good one by the end of the apprenticeship program. And I just wanted to get back with Justin because I think about him a lot, and I know how successful he is in his life living in New York. So, and he's one that I always felt like he followed the Kaizen philosophy that I really believe in, and I practice it in my business every day. And it is Kaizen is a Japanese word for lifelong learning, small incremental steps. And just by watching Justin's life, I feel like he is one of those people that's really practices Kaizen in his life, and he continually keeps on growing. And so I wanted him to share with you his life and his principles and what he's doing now. So anyway, Justin, thank you for being on this interview with me. And
Thanks.
I'm going to be asking you some questions, and you could answer my questions. So tell me what you were doing before you enrolled in an apprenticeship program at Studio 904.
Well, I was a little bit in transition. I had been working in healthcare for, about probably 6 years, and wasn't particularly happy with that direction and didn't really see myself going anywhere with that. So I had left the doctor I was working for and was working part-time as a supervisor at Starbucks. Though I enjoyed the free pound of coffee I got every week, I didn't think that was where I needed to be, and kind of pushed me in the direction of starting to explore something I had always wanted to do, and that was to do hair.
Great. And you were introduced to me through your partner, John Linder.
Mm-hmm.
He had recommended that I meet with you, and that's how we got started. So tell me what you like, the most important thing that you learned while working at Studio 904 and then the apprenticeship program that you were in. Did that change your life a bit?
It did, because I, for the first time, I felt like I found my home professionally. I had always wanted to do hair, but I think you can always want to do something, but until you're actually doing it and immersed in that environment, I think for the first time I had that, whoa, this is where I'm supposed to be moment. I think the apprenticeship was good. I think it is good for a lot of different types of people, and I think that's why it was successful for me. It was successful for Miriam, who I know still at Studio 904, because you can come from so many different backgrounds, but it works for, I think it works for everyone. And you just have to be a motivated individual to do it.
Well, you know, Justin, so many people have entered our apprenticeship program, and so many people haven't really made it through.
All right.
What do you think that you did that helped you to stay with the program and growing the program and actually get your cosmetology license at the end of 2 years? What was it? Was it hard for you to, be working with a group of professionally licensed people already, and here you are, a newbie who's never even probably done any hair?
Only my own, and maybe not so successfully.
Was it your outgoing person? I know that you have such an outgoing personality. Did that help you to kind of survive in this program?
I mean, I think probably it helped. I think probably the thing that helped me the most is you have to be open, and you have to, and you did a lot of this yourself, but also, other people at 904, is that you have to be open and open to receiving the information that you're getting, and open to growing and changing and evolving. I think that's probably, now looking back, I think that's what I got a lot of, how important it is to be open while at 904. But I think I already had some of that, but not to the extent like it helped me to. You just have to be open. You have to be open to feedback.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be open that you have to keep changing and learning and growing. And if you don't have that, I think the apprenticeship would probably be, well, really anything would be. That's why I think a lot of people aren't successful in various different programs. But I think especially the apprenticeship, you have to be open.
Mm-hmm.
You can't take it all so personally. I remember you telling me a lot, it's not personal, it's hair.
Mm-hmm.
You don't always get it in that moment, but I think as you go further along, and now looking back, I see a lot of those lessons now that I use in other aspects of other experiences and other aspects of my life, I think.
Well, so, learning is a very hard thing for so many people. And I find that I just find so many talented people, but especially when people get to be a little bit on in life, if you're like a 17-year-old, 18-year-old newbie, they seem to be more open to learning. But once people have had several jobs and they've been out in the world, I find very few people that are would accept this open-mindedness in learning.
Mm-hmm.
And so is that something that's kind of part of you, that you're always you're willing to learn new things?
I've had a lot of different careers in different jobs and definitely different environments, and you have to be able to adapt and be open to learning something different, and also not to take it so. To admit that you don't know something, I think is hard for a lot of people. But the sooner that you can be okay with it, nobody knows everything. You're never going to know everything. I mean, we're not computers, so and even computers don't know everything. So I think that you have to want to explore. You have to want knowledge. And if you don't, then you're not going to be. You're going to get capped out somewhere.
Well, you're a great example of that. Tell me about yourself right now, because I know that you worked yourself up into management at Studio 904. When we had 2 locations, and you were great as a manager because you had such a good relationship building skills, and you were so open that people could talk to you so easily. And I really hated losing you, but there you are in New York. So tell me about your life there now.
Well, fortunately, this summer, my life is not as chaotic as it has been the past 3 years, so I have a little reprieve. I just finished my associate's degree in communications in June, and I'm still doing hair, so I'm almost sort of kind of full-time doing hair in Chelsea, here in New York. I will be transferring this fall to Baruch College, and as a junior, and pursuing my communication studies degree there.
So what is it that you're hoping to do? You must have some idea.
That's a good question. I definitely feel like my strength is to help give a voice to people that don't have a voice. I think that could be in the nonprofit world. I think it could be in politics. So I'm not 100% sure. what I have started doing, which is a good thing, is I started looking at companies that I really like and respect and compiling job descriptions and thinking, okay, somewhere in here will be something that will click. Maybe not today, but maybe in a year or so. So who knows?
Well, I sure hope in the future we'll have a chance to work together again in some way.
I hope so. I mean,
My life.
you're definitely motivation for myself when I think I'm too tired, I can't do this. Why did I decide at 40 years old to be doing school and working full time and being married? I'm like, I can't do it. And then I think of you, and then I'm like, hey, Kay is still doing it.
Well, I think that you could probably do it because you have passion for whatever you're doing, and that probably gives you a lot of energy. So anyway, just let you know that our latest little program, we're very sad today because we adopted a abused donkey named Babs from Pasano Safe Haven, and we committed to pay his to help them to take care of him every month. And so we made posters in our salon, and we're publicizing him on Facebook and all that. And then just yesterday we received the word that he passed away. So I wanted to share that with you because we're also very sad. But again, you know, still committed to sharing the stories of those who just don't have a voice, just like you said. And so, yeah, in the future, you and I could work together on some of that.
I would love that. You know, this is a lonely city, even though it's so big. And we decided to, we had started thinking about getting a addition to our family. And so we thought about a dog, and I thought, that might be too much living here in the city. And then we thought about a cat, and I thought, we have to go look at rescues and shelters, because I said Kay would never talk to me again if I didn't. And I did. Now we have two on the couch right now. This is their third nap of the morning. Two very bad, very spoiled boys from Kitty Kind, this cat shelter here in the city.
Oh, great. Yeah. Cat adoptions are great. So many cats. So it was really nice talking with you, but before we close, I have to ask you this one last question. If you have one thing you'd like to offer our listeners about how to overcome adversity and live a happier life, what would that be? Can you share about something in your life? I mean, you could be as open as you like. You felt like you had to overcome to get to this point now. And if you could share that with our listeners, that would be great.
I mean, I think one thing I started to, it's probably with my grandmother passing about 5.5 years ago, that really threw me emotionally, physically, everything. It was just, she helped raise me, and was definitely like a soulmate to me. And I think through that, I really had a sort of big life change. And it was what was sort of the catalyst that made me really think, well, what am I doing? Well, what's happening? And that's when I looked into starting school. I was doing some comedy. I never thought I would stand on a stage in New York City where people came and paid, and I would tell inappropriate jokes. That was like safe for dinner parties when I had too much wine. And I thought, you know what's stopping me? And the only thing stopping me was myself. And if I look back at things that I wish I would have done, either career-wise or personally, what have you, the only person that really stopped me was me. And I think when you realize that you're in control of the direction that you want to go and your destiny, and you can't, playing the victim doesn't get you anywhere. After my grandmother had passed, it really kind of was the catalyst that drove me to do things that I had always put off or feared or thought I feared. That's when I had started school. That's when I had started doing some comedy work. And then just through the process of going to school the past 3 years, what it has taught me is that if I look back at everything in the past that, I wish I would have done this, or this person stopped me, or that stopped me, or this, things don't really, I think, stop you. I think they shift you in different directions because maybe that wasn't the right direction for you. And ultimately, it's up to you to get up, dust yourself off and move on. I mean, that can be the loss of someone, the loss of a relationship, the loss of a job. It doesn't, but still, ultimately, you're the one that's in control, and you have to find it somewhere and get up. And it might be hard for a while, but you just have to keep getting up. And if it's one foot in front of the other for a little while, and it's super slow, that's what you have to do. And eventually it will pass, and you'll get onto something a little bit more positive, I think.
Great advice. It was sure good talking with you today. And I will send you our recording, and I'm going to post ours on social media, if that's okay with you.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I like a little attention, so it's okay.
Okay, great, Justin. So we'll see each other again soon.
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Okay.
You visit to Seattle. Okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.